Hello, and welcome to Plants and Python. My name is Alejandra Rougon, and I am a professor at the Genomics Department at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM campus en León. This is Command Line Lesson 8, Word Count, Pipelines, and Permissions. In this lesson, you will learn to count lines, words, and characters, how to create pipelines, and how to change files and folders permissions. The WC command, which stands for word count, lets you count lines, words, and characters in a file. For example, in the file amounts.txt, we have 4 lines, 4 words, and 12 characters. But wait, why do we get 12 characters if we can only see 8? This is because the new line is also a character, and it appears at the end of each line. You can specify lines, words, and characters with -L, W, and C respectively. Now let's go to Documents and look for the string E in the file All Fruits with grep. Let's say we want to sort that output. One way is to save the output to a file with the greater than symbol, and then run the sort command. But if that file is not useful for us, we can skip that step and pass the output to the next command just by adding a pipe. So the output goes as input to the next command after the pipe. But what if you just want to perform 2 different commands? For example, change directory and then look for a string inside a file. In this case, you can use a semicolon. For example, how many characters contain the words that have a P in the file toy jeans? That is in the folder practice. So first, you have to go to the folder practice. Then look for the letter P with grep and take the output into cat to select only the column that has the words, and then count the letters with WC. As you can see, when we want to run commands independently, one after the other, we use a semicolon. And when we want the output of one command to go into the next command, we use a pipe. Now, let's see how to change permissions. For that, we need to view first the current file permissions, and we do that with ls-l. Permissions are different for different users. These ones are the owner, which we will identify with the letter U for user, the group, which are users assigned by the administrator to a particular group of people. These people can collaborate and share data among each other. And finally, the others, that is everyone else, and is represented by a letter O. Now, the different permissions are reading, writing, and executing. You can see here how permissions are distributed in different positions. The first position indicates if it is a file or a directory. The next 3 positions belong to the owner, if she or he has reading, writing, and executing permissions. You will see RWX. If any of those permissions is not available, it will be represented by a dash, like in the example at the bottom. The 3 positions in the middle represent the permissions of the group. And the last 3 represent the others, that is everyone else's permissions. In order to change the permissions, we use the command chmod. Then we can use the character mode in which the plus, minus, and equal signs are used to add, remove, or assign specific permissions. For example, +R will add read permissions to everyone since we didn't specify to whom. G-W will remove writing permissions to the group. U plus X will add executing permissions to the owner. U equal RW will give the owner reading and writing permissions, and GO equal nothing will remove all permissions to the group and others. The other option is to change permissions through the octal mode, where each permission combination is represented by a number. In this case, chmod 777 will give all permissions to the owner, the group, and others. 766 will give all permissions to the owner and only reading and writing to the others. 444 allows everyone to read the file, but removes writing and executing permissions to everyone. This is very useful in bioinformatics to protect your raw data from unintended corruption, even from yourself. Now let's see the permissions of the file all fruits, and then change them so everyone can have all permissions. We can do this with chmod 777. Then we can check again the permissions and see the difference. In this lesson, you have learned how to count lines, words, and characters, create pipelines, and change permissions.